What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 Against the Grain. I'm your host, Josh Golden. I'm here with my brother, Jacob Golden, your co-host. What's up, Jacob?
What's up, Josh? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Good, bro. Just hanging out. It's Friday.
Yeah, thankfully, right?
Yeah. Been a freaking week. A few weeks, actually, but we can get into that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what we're going to get into today. So we're going to be talking about success, the idea of success, what it is, what it isn't. Same with business, what it is, what it isn't. We have some questions from some of you, and some common myths that people talk about, say, and just going to kind of give our perspective on it. We'll start with one of our questions from one of you guys. Is the idea of success my own, or is it how someone else views it?
I think for me, I think a big part of today and this is, I think for everybody, our perception of success is defined by what we see on the internet. And I think because we live in a day and age where it used to be like celebrities of like, movies or, professional ball players or whatever it may be, but now it's more like influencers, these people that have these like jobs where they work on the computer for like an hour a day and then they're making 40 million a year and, they have their 3-hour morning routine with their ice bath and greens and all this other BS. And people are like, oh, that's success. I think that's like the way I think a lot of people are seeing it nowadays because it's like what's pushed out on the internet, right? These people have, $500,000 cars, $1 million homes, whatever. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think that heavily influenced a lot of people's vision of success today. And I don't know who asked this question, but like for me, I think my version of success is defined by a little bit of what I see, but it's also like my own idea of success. Because like growing up, how we grew up, I never saw anybody in my mind that was like successful. And I think as in business and as a family man, like, cause obviously I look at like the men a lot more than I do the women in my family to be an example to me because of who I am. And I never saw a successful man. And so I never saw a successful father, a successful husband, a successful businessman. So I think success looks a lot of different ways to a lot of different people. And I think we perceive it a certain way, like on the internet. But for me, I think success is like, yes, do I want to be successful in business? Do I want to make a lot of money? And basically not have I don't have to worry about like when money's coming in or how much is coming in. I want to have enough where it's enough,
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I don't want to ever want more, like, because I think there's two sides to where people get on this high horse of like, oh, well, you should only have this much. Like, that's enough for you. It's like, well, enough for me could be a few $1 million. Enough for you could be $100,000. Just everybody has different metrics. But it's just something where I could live my life the way I want to live it. My wife and kids can live their life the way they want to live it. And then I can show up as the dad and the husband that I want to be. And like that, to me, that's success. Where you can basically do what you want in life and hopefully fulfill the roles that you're called to fulfill.
Well, I think it's important. I think it has to be your version of success aligned with other people's as well. And the reason I say that is because I think it's not entirely a bad thing to see certain people or whoever you look up to and be like, oh, that's success. Because it shows you it's possible. And it gives you something to try for and gives you some drive, So I don't think it's completely negative. But I do think that people are too concerned about how other people view them and how other people view their success opposed to being concerned about what success looks like to them. And that's kind of like what you're saying. I mean, it could be someone could be as simple as, hey, dude, I don't need a lot of money. I just want enough to retire myself today and live with my life, with hanging out with my family, like just doing my own thing for the rest of my life. And you could be living off of $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year and you could be happy. Or you could be like, hey, dude, I want to retire today, but I want to live off $500,000 a year for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? There's different versions of success and it can only be yours. But I think there's still an important aspect to finding not only what you want, but finding like someone that's done something similar so you can have something that's attainable. You know what I mean? You can see it's attainable. So it's nothing's out of your reach.
Well, I think because a lot of what we see nowadays, it's like a surface level success. And what I mean by that is like, you see these people, and I use the internet as a big thing because that's where a lot of people are kind of put on a platform is the internet. And we see success from the internet and we just see this one type of lifestyle. This is all they do. But it's like there's a lot more, even to those people that do have that success, the people that are, driving nice cars with a nice home, making millions of dollars, whatever, maybe in like a very worldly sense of just like, hey, this is what they see success as. those people too, a lot of them are successful family people. They have good marriages and good relationships with their children. And I don't think those are things that are always seen. And that's why I think it's like a very surface level success that we see from other people. And you have to realize that there's like, those are real people too. And they have real success in their life that doesn't just mean money and business. And I think that's like, I don't know. I think you could help influence yourselves, but just realize that like what you see isn't all of reality. It's just a portion of it.
Another question we got: can I scale my income without increasing my stress? I think you can. You can.
I think,
but it's also, you have to understand that doesn't mean it's always going to happen. But I think I think it comes back to a lot of people like working efficiently and just working hard. Because the guy that works construction, that works 6-10 hour shifts a week, and been doing that for 20 years, he's probably a hard worker. Doesn't mean he's doing efficiently to make more money.
Yeah.
So you can increase your time, you can increase your stress, and not necessarily increase your income. You can increase your income and become more efficient and not necessarily increase your stress. Sometimes both will increase at the same time. It all depends on how efficient I think you are on making money or with making money.
Yeah, I agree. But I do think that like, I don't think there's a set number for anybody, but I think that there's a set number. There's a number out there that you can increase your income without increasing your stress to an extent. But I think when you start hitting these other levels, like you're gonna have stress come along with it regardless. It's like what we talked about in the beginning, like
you just learn how to deal with that stress differently.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's like when you want this, let's say you want $100,000. Let's say you want a business that does $200,000 a year in revenue. You're gonna have $200,000 problems. Like those are the problems you're gonna have. They're gonna be problems of a $200,000 business. You want to make $1 million? They're
gonna be $1,000 problems.
They're gonna be $1,000 problems. Yeah, exactly. You want to make $1 million a year? Guess what?
$10,000 problems.
Your problems go up. Exactly. You're doing 10, 15, 20, $150 million a year. You're gonna have that many millions of revenue, but you're going to have that many problems as well.
$1 million problems.
Exactly. It comes in with each other. But I think that definitely would increase stress levels, at least for me. But I think that but I think on a smaller scale, if you're just like working in a business or you have a small business, you can do, like you said, little things where you can make an extra $1,000 a month and it won't maybe, cause them a stress to you. But when you really start pushing and like really trying to make big strides in business and in, especially in your income, eventually stress will come with it.
Yeah, and I think mitigating stress, it goes hand in hand with just establishing SOPs, establishing things that are in place, that procedures, that this happens, then you do this. This happens, you do this. Because that mitigates stress, having procedures in place. So, and that can also make you more efficient, which leads to making more money. So you can make more money and limit your stress, but you have to be wise about how you do it. It doesn't matter if you're at work 10 hours a day, if you're doing 3 hours of work.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't. Because you're stressed for the next 7 about shit you can't control.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. It's just efficiency with your time.
Yeah. And you can't when you get the stress that comes, you have to and I think it's a learning process. I think every industry is different. But I know we've gotten to a point where when it's a little bit slower or we're not converting as much revenue or we're not bringing as much revenue in, we kind of just realize it's a roller coaster, dude. Like there's always going to be highs and there's always going to be lows. There's days where we're selling 50,000. There's days where we're selling 1,000. There's no consistency in business. And there can be, obviously over the years, you're going to get some consistency. Like we have consistency enough now to say, hey, we're going to have calls sometime this week. We may be slow today, but we'll be busy sometime this week. We'll make money. Or, hey, we may be really busy, but we have to be ready when it's going to be slow. Because, we have consistency in that. Even though it's an inconsistent thing, we have consistency that we're going to have calls, we're going to make money, and revenue is going to be produced. But I think as you grow, those things become more consistent. And when those things become more consistent, especially, with very simple metrics like revenue, I think that could definitely mitigate stress. But in the beginning, it's like when you don't see the patterns yet, and it's just the beginning where it's just slow, it's just the worst time ever. And when you're busy, it's the best thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really hard to get away from that stress, but I just think it takes time with that kind of part of business too.
All right, let's talk about some myths and speaking with success in business. All right, one common myth: you have to grind 24/7 or you'll fail. What do you think about that?
I don't think you have to grind 24/7. I think that to be successful in a business, you have to be willing to put all your chips in one basket. You have to put all your eggs in one basket, or whatever you want to call it. You have to be 100% dedicated. You have to be willing to put it all on the line. You have to be willing to make fast decisions, hard decisions, and decisions that could cost you everything. However, I don't think it needs to take all of your time. And I think there's a misconception today in business where, and it's whatever industry you're in, again, that it needs to be your life. Everything you do, breathe, sleep, eat, and do this. You wake up at 3 a.m. and like I said, you do your cold plunge, you read 20 pages of book, and then you're on the computer working, and then you're, getting in to exercise, you're coming back doing your morning breakfast, and you're getting into the office. Like, it's like these astronomical metrics that people try to push out, like, oh, this is what you need to do, and you need to be doing it all the time. Like, dude, it's not attainable for anybody.
And it leads to burnout.
Well, it's going to burn you out. And then at the same time, too, like, with building a business, like, dude, I want to build a business more than anybody, right? Me and you, I think, both feel that way. Like, dude, we're in it. We're in 100%. We put a lot of money into this. We've sacrificed a lot. But at the same time, during this journey, we're a year and a half into it. I'm not going to let my family suffer for 10 years while I try to build a business over $50 million or $100 million. You know
well,
what I mean?
and I think just being fully transparent with people too, like me and you, we work 5-6 days a week, a lot of times, 7 days a week. We'll be on our computer, whatever it may be. But as far as like actually having got to the field after hours, the only break we really get is, and we're still working with each other, like on the computer behind the scenes, but having to go out to the field after hours, we basically switch off weeks. I'll do 1 week, you do another week. Mm-hmm. And that's solely just going out after hours. But small things like that, it doesn't mean like, just because we're both not there in the field every single day, 365 days a year, that's not lazy. That's not, oh, you don't care about your business. Dude, it's taking care of your family and it's preventing burnout.
Well, we figured out a way where we have a system in place now, and it's small systems. As you grow, you introduce more. But in the beginning, we would go out together on every single call. And obviously that was in the beginning before we had employees, but now we have employees, and now we run manager positions. Like you said, we switch off on a on-call basis for after hour stuff, because it gives us a week off every other week, which is very reasonable, dude. It's not,
and it's not even a week off. It's just your after hours is technically off, but you're still doing computer work and stuff.
Well, and then during the day we're working all day.
Yeah, just your after hours are.
Yeah,
but I mean I think that's just important for like people listening too, because I think there's a lot of lies on social media. I think there's a lot of lies in podcast settings about what people do and what they don't do. And at the end of the day, if I didn't have that time off, dude, I'd be way more stressed than I am now. But it gives you a nice reset every week. Yeah,
because I think that it is like on the internet and social media and YouTube, podcasts, whatever. Because it's really it's a really nice thing to talk about if you're like the podcaster or the host. I would say nice, but like to really like almost amps you up on your page and boosts you up when you're like, yeah, I do this all day, every day. And if you guys aren't doing it, that's why you're not being successful. It's like, look, man, I put everything into this business. I put everything into it. And you can ask anybody that knows me, dude. Like, I eat, breathe, sleep this business. However, I also recognize that there's sometimes I need a balance. And there's sometimes I need to take, a few hours away from my phone where I'm not working on call so I can spend time with my wife and kids or whatever it may be, Because you need those times. And that's okay. It's important.
I agree. All right. Here's another common myth. If you build it, they will come for business. And this is basically talking about like you can have a superior product and that's all you need. Bullshit. In the early stages. All you need, if you have the best product, like people are going to flock to. You're going to get business.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, and I think
regardless of your quality of product in the beginning, you need marketing.
Yeah.
You need marketing every single day.
Yep.
That's the only thing that's going to sell your product. Well, I don't care how good it is.
Because I think that there's a few different things, right? Because if you have a new product, so let's say you have a brand new product, something that you've invented that it doesn't have
to be a new product though. It could be anything. It could be a plumbing company that has really good service. It could be a restaurant that has great food. It could be anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But on either end, whether you have a very generic thing that everyone's already done before, even if you think you have the superior product, no one knows about you, so you're not going to stand out. So then even if you do have a very, very niche thing that no one does, no one's going to hire you because you have no customer education. So either way, you need customer education on both ends.
Which is
new
marketing.
Product, exactly, which is marketing. Like you could say, oh, we have the best services. We provide the best workmanship. We provide the best warranties. Like, we'll treat your home like it's ours. Like everything, all these things that all these people want to, these metrics as far as a customer journey, especially in home services. But if no one knows about you, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You're not going to get any calls.
absolutely.
And that's, I mean, I don't think we were naive to that in the beginning. I think that getting calls was a lot harder than I expected, honestly.
I think it's a lot harder than a lot of people expect.
Yeah.
There was a lady that came up to us at a networking meeting, and she was opening a plumbing company, and
Never plumbed before.
never
either.
plumbed before in her life. But she was starting with 2 vans, and she was asking if she could send us calls because she was going to have so many calls that she's heard she's going to have so many calls that she can't even keep up with the work.
And we had like 3 vans on the road at this time. And we've been in business like, what, 8 months, 9 months? And we were still fighting for calls. I mean, we still fight for calls.
Yeah, we do well,
Yeah.
but we're fighting. You fight for calls every day as a plumbing company or an HVAC company or service repair company because you always want that next call.
Well, and I think that's a big difference with us. And it's kind of veering off. But it's because of the marketing that we do. Because it's trying to give good customer education is like, there's a few different types of business owners out there. But there's some that are like, hey, there's enough place in the market for all of us. I'm going to make my money. You're going to make yours. We're all good. And there's people like me and you who I don't want you to have any one of the calls in Middle Tennessee. If you're another plumbing company out here and you have if you're on a call, like every time I see a van on a call, honestly, it makes me upset.
Yeah.
Every time I drive by a service van that's not a golden plumbing van in front of someone's house working, that's a plumbing van. It's like, what the fuck, man? Because, dude, I want that call.
Yeah.
I want every single door that gets knocked on by every other one of our competitors, I want it to be one of our guys. Why? Because I want to go on a straight warpath and take every one of them out. And, dude, that's just the reality, bro. Because, I mean, in the beginning, I believed, yeah, there's room for everybody. There's room for all of us.
There's not room for all of us.
There's not room for all of us. There's only room for us. Because at the end of the day, dude, you want $100 million in revenue, you need to have that mindset. Yeah. You need to have that person. You need to take their neighbor's business and their whole neighborhood's business, and you need to be stomping on your competition. It's not like, oh, we're all going to make money. There's enough, plumbing is $100 billion market cap in the United States. There's room for not all of us. No, there's not. No, there's not.
Yeah.
There's not room for all of us.
At the end of the day, you're never going to take every single door.
No,
but with that mindset, you will take more.
Yeah, because there's companies that have sent us, dude, there's a ton of companies that have sent us calls. Like and that's the thing I think for listeners, like if you're doing all this marketing and you're doing a ton of marketing, you're spending money on marketing, or you've been around a while and you're established and you're getting calls, people are asking for your product, whatever it may be, dude, do not start sending them somewhere else. Because we've had probably 5 to 8 companies now where people have called looking for plumbing services. They can't service them and say, hey, call Golden. Like, dude, what the heck? We're just like, yeah, we can get you in ASAP. This is as soon as we can get you in. Like, I'm really sorry.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. And if they don't want to do business with us, that's fine. But I'm not going to tell them, hey, go use this other company. Because then what if they do like them? Guess what? They're never calling me back.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, dude, it doesn't make sense. It's crazy.
All right, last question. How do I stay motivated when nothing's working? Dude, I think that's true for a lot of people, bro. I think a lot of people think that in the beginning, and I think especially when you expect rapid growth, like you do see on social media, kind of like what you were talking about earlier, it gives you unrealistic expectations for yourself. And then you look at these people that have been doing it, and you're like, oh shit, dude, they've been doing this for 7 years. They've been doing this for 8 years. Like, they talk like it was overnight success because to them, they look back and man, time flew. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, it helps sell their product more if they're selling something that overnight success sell. However, like the realistic for everybody or most people is it's not overnight. There's people that hit it faster. Yeah. But I mean, I think you need to stay motivated. Even if you feel like it's not working, you need to keep pushing. You need to keep doing it because if you stop, you're sure as shit to fail. Yeah. But the people that make it, dude, are the people that just refuse to quit.
Well, and that's, yeah, exactly, dude. And that's the biggest thing, I think. The biggest thing in success in business is if you have an inability to quit, you will be successful. And I say that because, I mean, if you just look at the statistics on United States small businesses, majority of them fail. And there's a lot of reasons why they fail. We've talked about this before. But when you have a hard time or you're not motivated, dude, like you could easily say, like, hang up the towel, like, this is failure. I'm closing my business because of, I'm having hard times with capital. I can't pay myself. I'm not going to keep paying other people, not pay myself. But even when those failures come, if you have the ability to stay disciplined and keep pushing through those hard times, like you'll make it. And dude, it's crazy. And it's honestly, it's for us, it's cool because every month we keep pushing. Every year we keep pushing. Dude, I know for a fact that we have that much less competition to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, because when we're in the beginning, bro, when you're in the beginning stages, like, dude, you can look on Facebook, dude, it's crazy. There's new plumbing companies stop popping up around here every fucking day. Every day, there's a new company. But it's because it's a one-man shop with a freaking little, mediocre license and a, shitty vehicle that trying to run plumbing calls off Facebook. But guess what, dude? I know for a fact those guys won't last. It was like the dude that sold us our last transit. He said his dad was a plumber, and his dad owned his own company for 10 years and just stopped and went back to one of the biggest companies around here being a technician because it was too much work.
Yeah, it's easier to be a W-2 employee.
He didn't own a company. I'm sorry, but when you are working for yourself as a plumber and all you do is plumb,
you own a job.
You own a job. You don't own a business. There's a difference. There's a major difference. But I think that if you're in business and you try to do marketing and you try to actually grow your business and then you just stick with it and you hammer it out and hammer it out and hammer it out, that's how you make it.
Yeah.
That's how you stay motivated. You just keep pushing. Stay disciplined.
And you don't need to stay motivated, dude. You just know that there's something at the end that's going to be better than what you're at right now.
Yeah. A lot of times
you keep doing the right thing.
Yeah. A lot of times you won't be motivated, dude. A lot of times it's shitty. It sucks. It's hard. But you just keep your head down. And you just keep doing the same thing.
Yep.
Again and again.
I agree.
That's how you make it. That's simple. It's not hard. It's hard as shit when you're doing it, but it's not a hard concept.
All right, guys. Well, let us know in the comments. Give us some ideas what you guys want to hear for our next podcast. Hit us with some more questions that we can answer next time when we get started. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.